Welcome, everyone, to this month's edition of the Hello Woodlands Nonprofit of the Month Highlight. Hi, I'm Randy Lovelace with Paragon Independent Insurance, and we're on location. Actually, we're on multiple locations. This is going through Zoom, so everybody is comfortable right at home. And so we're actually doing multiple locations all at once through the magic of Zoom. So I'm here with a fabulous lady, Kim Hess with Cassidy Join for Hope. And I want to introduce her, let her talk about her organization, what they do for the community, and what the community can do for her, and as well as some other things. So right now, Kim Hess, awesome lady. Please step in and tell us about yourself and the organization.
Hi, Randy. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to be highlighted in the month of May, and it's a great month to be highlighted for the things that we do, because May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and our foundation, Cassidy Join for Hope, is focused on teen suicide prevention. So it's a perfect time to get our message out there and to get the community more educated and involved on suicide prevention, especially now that we are all so much more isolated at home during this crazy pandemic time. I think a lot of people are just feeling a lot more anxious and isolated than normal. So it's a great time to talk about these things. Our foundation began in 2016, because just 5 days before Christmas in 2015, we lost our daughter Cassidy to suicide, and it came as a complete shock to our family. She would have been the last person anyone would ever think would take their life. So it completely caught our family off guard, and sadly, 2015, we lost numerous adolescents to suicide, and so it became quickly evident to us this was a growing silent epidemic that we had to address as a community. So we knew that we had to do more. So we started a foundation with the mission to prevent teen suicide, and we knew that we had to start with the teens themselves. So one of the first things that we did was create Join for Hope clubs in our high schools, which is an organization for teen suicide prevention led by the students themselves. And they spread the mission and the message to their peers, so they don't lose another peer to suicide. And to date, we have 7 Join for Hope clubs now, and so one even at Lone Star College. So the students and the teens, the parents, the teachers, they're all getting behind our mission, because it's important to start even at an earlier age. So, you know, a lot of things that we also do is go to the different schools and churches, communities, just different organizations, and share our story, share our message, and just share information. And every time I do share Cassie's story, I get teenagers coming up to me afterwards with just tears in their eyes and just hugging me and just thanking me, because now they can share their stories. There's so many people out there struggling in silence. And our biggest goal is to break the silence. So, so thank you.
It sounds like when they experience something like that, that they find they've got maybe a voice that they can use to reach out.
Absolutely. And to know that they're not alone. So, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things. Our teenagers think that they're the only ones feeling this way, and that they're so alone when they realize that so many teens are struggling, which is not a good thing. But it's good to let them know that they're not alone in this struggle, and that there is help. I mean, there are so many support groups in our community that people aren't aware of and that they aren't tapping into. And so that's our mission too, is just connect people with all these other different resources to get the right help.
Wow.
So
how do you think that this current, like you called it, epidemic, how do you think our current situation is affecting all of that? It's got to be having some sort of effect. And I understand this year, unfortunately, suicides are up.
Unfortunately, we've had suicides in Montgomery County since all of this pandemic started. You know, it's just a hard time for the families in general, not just the adults. I mean, they're going through struggles. We're all at home isolated. People are losing jobs. People's jobs are on hold. Some people aren't able to even feed the families right now. And then, you know, we have all those stresses, and the kids are isolated at home, not seeing friends. Luckily, we do have social media where they can keep in touch, but sometimes that can be scary too if they don't use the social media, in a healthy manner. So it's just unprecedented right now, and I think we're all just ready to get back to our normal lives. But
Right.
unfortunately, we have had suicides since all this isolation started, and
Yeah.
so that's why we want to. One thing that we decided we want to start in the month of May, and since all of this isolation, is we want to start having weekly discussions about these topics in an open forum. And so next Wednesday, May 6th, we're going to create a Facebook group called Live with CJH, and we're going to bring in a panel of people to just talk about different topics about mental health in specific, all the struggles that our teens are facing. We'll have a professional licensed counselor on the panel every week to answer questions, and we want to bring different nonprofits and ministries and just different professionals on the panel of discussion every week, and allow people to send in questions live. And we want to be there for the community to answer as many questions as possible during this crazy time. We've gotten many messages since this pandemic from parents worried about their teens, worried about their teen's friend, worried about someone else in their family. And the number one question is always, what do I do? Where do I start? And that's a great question. And that's something that most of us probably don't know where to start getting help for our loved ones, because it's just not on our radar. None of
Right.
us really think that our family is going to be affected by suicide. We certainly didn't think we ever would. And so I wouldn't have known where to start. So that's important, is to just give people that information. And so starting next Wednesday, we would love people to tune in to our Facebook page, Cassidy Join for Hope, and tune in to our Live with CJH and be a part of the discussion. Send in your questions, and even live in the comment section, we'll try to answer as many as possible. And
What time will that be?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Okay.
Do it late enough to where everyone gets home from work, with people who can work outside the home. But we want to continue it past this time also. So we just think it's important to just connect people with resources. That is so important.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Are there some quick red flags or signs that parents or family or friends could take note of, or at least get their attention?
Well, the number one sign probably is simply if you notice that your child is isolating themselves. But right now, we're all kind of isolating ourselves. So that's kind of, that might be something that a lot of people are missing out right now. But just sleeping patterns, if you notice your teen is sleeping too much, sometimes sleeping too little, if they're, just not interacting with friends, if they're starting to abuse drugs or alcohol, those are all signs. And just, your child better than anyone else. And if you just notice that they're just not acting right, they're just acting a little different, which again, most teenagers are acting a little different right now. But if you notice that it's a trend more than just a couple of weeks, it's something that's lasting a little longer, it's time to intervene and to get help. And and specifically when you notice that your child is struggling and may have thoughts of suicide, it's important to come out and be direct with them. Don't be afraid to ask the question, and just openly ask, are you thinking about suicide? Are you thinking about taking your life? Because that opens the door for them to answer, and where otherwise sometimes they never would. So many people think that it's not a good thing to ask that direct question, that it is.
Sounds like an extremely hard question to ask, but very necessary.
It is. Yeah. And so one thing that we are doing this Friday, being May 1st, we're kicking off Mental Health Awareness Month with a Talk Save Lives presentation from a representative from the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. So Friday, it will go into a whole presentation of more signs to look for, and how to respond to those signs and how to get them help. So it's about a 45-minute presentation, and it again will be live on our Facebook page this Friday at 11 o'clock. And so you can tune in and again submit any questions in the comment section during the presentation, and we'll try to answer as many as possible. But it's important to empower parents and families with the right tools to know what the signs are and what to do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, Kim, I know like all other nonprofits, you depend on funding. Um, what does Cassidy Join for Hope do? What is your main source of funding? I know right now, again, events are kind of out of the question, but what can the community do for you?
Well, we always have a donate button on our website, www.cassidyjoinforhope.com. You can donate that way. And in December will be our second Hope for the Holidays Christmas program. And that first year we raised a lot of money that first year. And we did not have it last Christmas, but we're hoping to have it this Christmas. We're hoping that our lives will be a little more back to normal, and we'll have it in December. And it's a community-wide Christmas program with a bunch of Montgomery County students and even adults, and just doing a Christmas program at College Park High School Auditorium, just to spread hope during the holidays, because the holidays is another season where a lot of people feel lonely, especially if they have lost loved ones, and a lot of people lose hope over the holidays. So that's another way that we will be hopefully raising a little bit of money too.
Yeah, great.
Things that we do is we sponsor suicide prevention training. Other than the free Talk Saves Lives, there's more in-depth training that we sponsor for people in our community. There's Assist, Safe Talk training. We provide funding for all of our Join for Hope clubs. We get them started and fund all of their materials that they need to spread throughout their schools for the entire year. We're on our third public service announcement. We've partnered with Reflective Life Ministries and put out some PSAs what can be shown in the schools. And this last one is a pretty powerful one. It's called Share to Care, and you can find that on our Facebook page. But basically, we're trying to put these packages together with short little PSA and some follow-up material, discussion points with each one that we can hand to the schools, and they can show those in health classes or whatever to start these important discussions in the classes. We partnered with equine therapy to ranches to provide and sponsor students and student organizations with equine therapy. And we've started sponsoring families with teens for counseling who can't afford counseling, because we don't want costs to be a reason why your teen isn't able to go get the help they needed. So we've partnered with some local therapists where we can help sponsor kids and at least get them the initial counseling and get them, evaluated early enough.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. You're just doing amazing things. You can tell that the passion is there in what you do and what you're doing for the community. The community is so lucky to have you. Montgomery County is so lucky to have you here with us. So I'm just awfully proud to say we've got people like you in this area. So doing amazing things. And
thank you.
So anyway, with that, I think we can wrap up this edition of the Hello Woodlands Nonprofit of the Month highlight. Thank you so much, Kim, for being here and talking about your organization. I wish everyone nice, safe several weeks, the rest of through the whole month of May and the rest of this year. Don't let the situation get you down. Reach out to someone, talk to them, visit with them, even if it's by Zoom or FaceTime or whatever social media outlet that you have. Go to the grocery store and wave at people from a distance. So love all of y'all. Have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.